Here I'm riding Riggs and ponying Mozzy. I opted to move Mozzy out a little bit before I got on him for his 10th ride. These two guys are 3/4 brothers. Riggs is a 4-year-old and Mozzy's a 2-year-old, so it's kind of cool to see them compared side by side like this. Couple of nice, awesome Roni sons. I stuck Mozzy in a hackamore. I've only ridden him in a halter and a hackamore up to this point. I have not bitted him yet. Go to step on him. I have my rein short, but I didn't feel the need to bend his head around to get on. Once I get on, I'm looking for hinds and fronts, just to make sure we've got our bases covered before we start moving out. This guy's been really kind. He's a very gentle colt and a little more on the lazy side. This was actually the first ride that I had put on him with spurs on too, so he got to figure out what those were. Looking for a front here. And it doesn't need to be perfect. If there's just kind of the hint of a try, then I'll give to him. Like right there. He tries pretty hard. He doesn't make a big deal out of stuff. I really like his mind so far. He's been, like I said, really sweet. Look for that front in the other direction here. He's wanting to move his hip around quite a bit. I'll just wait for him to offer the right thing, and then we'll stop once he's nice about it. Finally, when he offers just a step, then I praise. Looking for him to walk out here. He was a little bit reluctant. He's a little more on the lazy side. He had a pretty strong draw back towards the trailer, which is in the lower left corner of the frame here. And his buddies, Riggs and Soup, are standing over there. It's just something that he'll have to work on. It's a pretty standard trouble spot for young horses. But he's not hard set on it by any means. Kind of have to keep him going, even at a walk here. He's offering to stop pretty consistently. Roll him around and make sure that I am able to one rein stop him from a walk before we continue on. My goal for today was to lope out under saddle for the first time. Looking for him to trot right here. He has a nice transition. You can see him kind of drawing back towards the corner, towards the trailer. And he wants to slow down when he's not pointed back towards the trailer. Again, that's pretty standard stuff. A colt is going to have draws towards things. Asking him to trot away there. He's trotting, but he doesn't really have a lot of gusto. He's pretty quiet about it. So this guy is an awesome Roni son out of a Rolling Jacks Copper daughter, and then he has Zangold Jackson and another shot of High Rolling Roni on the bottom. He has a lot of high rolling Roni in his pedigree and goes back to him 4 times. He also has 2 shots of Oswald and 3 lines back to Applejack's, which is a 2-eyed jack horse. He has a really neat pedigree for sure. So this ride is all about moving out and coming off my leg, coming off my rein. So this clip is about 5 minutes later. We had just been working on trotting around and feel. And that was the first time that he'd ever loped with me right there. He's a lot more freed up. He felt really good. I go ahead and bring him around to a stop. He wasn't trying to run off or anything. I just wanted to make sure that I still had his hip. And then we trot right off again. This guy felt really nice. He hasn't offered to be the bronchi type at all, and he's not humpy or tight or anything. He just cruises right around. There's another few strides of a lope right there. Really good stuff. You can see him drawing back towards the trailer right there before he goes out of frame. We made another lap around the arena, so this is just another minute later. And I ask him to lope, and he picks up a super nice left lead. Really nice stuff there. It takes a little bit of effort to keep him going, especially after we go by the trailer. He's really wanting to turn around and go back to his buddies. Kind of does the colt thing where they try to go left and then try to go right. He hasn't really figured out how to line out yet, but he will lope to some degree. I'm trying to keep him on the fence there as we travel away. There he's loping again. All just stuff that needs to be worked on. But he was really willing to move out at the lope. Looking for him to kind of come off of my leg there, away from the trailer. Another 30 seconds later, and we're coming up the fence here. I ask him to lope, and he picks up another nice left lead. I don't really care what lead he picks up at this point. I just want him to lope. Go to bend him around, and he's really hard set on trying to get back to that trailer. So we go back over there and work a little bit. One more lap around the arena. Trotting up the fence here. I ask him to turn into the fence and stop. Turn around. He's kind of wanting to back up no matter what I'm asking him here. I'm looking for him to walk out. Now I'm hunting for a lope. I figured that was a pretty decent place to stop. Look for him to get soft backing up right there. And that's where we quit. But I didn't want him to think that backing up was going to make me get off because he was so set on backing up. So I had him walk forward a few steps and stop before I actually stepped off of him. That's all. Thank you for watching. I really like how this colt is coming along.